Okay, let's just jump right in because the energy online right now is absolutely off the charts. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're doing a rapid-fire, deep dive breakdown of this explosive new DC Universe footage. We are not just skimming the surface here. We're hunting down those hidden details, the sneaky visual clues, and the massive franchise connections you probably missed while you were busy scraping your jaw off the floor. And honestly, we have to start with the biggest reveal of them all, the brand new footage for Superman Man of Tomorrow. We are talking about a totally unexpected, heavy-hitting clash that literally sets the stage for this entire new era.
I mean, just look at the start of this footage. We aren't getting some quiet, philosophical debate in an office. We're seeing Superman actively wailing on Lex Luthor. And Lex? He isn't in his usual sharp business suit. Nope, he is strapped into a massive, heavily armored Warframe battlesuit. This is a total game changer for their dynamic. Lex is bringing raw and immense physical power to the table, forcing Superman into an all-out heavy metal brawl right out of the gate. It tells us right away that the threat level in Man of Tomorrow is going to be incredibly physical and honestly insanely high stakes.
Now, what's really cool is this confirmation straight from James Gunn himself. A lot of eagle-eyed fans were zooming in, scrutinizing Superman's look during that Warframe fight. And Gunn confirmed it. He's actually rocking a brand new suit. It's not the exact same costume we saw in his first outing. And you know what? This establishes a super fun precedent moving forward. It means both Superman and Supergirl are getting costume glow-ups as the franchise expands. We're looking at a living, breathing universe where gear evolves, symbols get those slight tweaks, and the suits get upgraded from movie to movie. All right, let's move into Section 1, Hidden Clues and Debunked Theories. You know how it is. Whenever a trailer drops, the fan theory machine goes into overdrive. Case in point, this massive energy dome we see surrounding Argo City. Instantly, everyone was yelling, "It's Brainiac," because, well, Brainiac is famous for throwing domes over cities and shrinking them. But if you look closely at the visual clues and the context, that theory is actually totally busted. What we're really looking at here on the right is Kara's father, Zor-El. He's raising a protective shield over the city, literally using it as a life raft to save them while the rest of Krypton faces total planetary destruction. So it's a desperate act of survival, not an alien invasion. Moving right along, the creators packed this footage with some absolutely phenomenal legacy Easter eggs, and we're gonna rapid fire through 3 massive ones right now. First up, check out these incredibly bright, shiny suits in Kara's flashback sequences. That is a direct, brilliant visual callback to the Christopher Reeve Superman era and how Kryptonian clothes were designed back in the day. Second, we get this epic shot of Supergirl lasering her way out of a lake, a huge nod to Helen Slater's iconic lake exit from the 1984 Supergirl movie. And third, they finally address the age-old debate, why on earth does Superman wear trunks? So, James Gunn gives us what we can call the luchador strategy. In universe, Superman deliberately chose to wear bright colors and trunks to look more like a luchador wrestler. Why? Simple, to appear less scary to kids. It ties perfectly into that great speech he gives Kara in the trailer, explaining that their bright colors are a signal to the world that they're the good guys. It's not just some random fashion choice. It's a calculated psychological tool to build trust with humanity. Pretty fascinating character layer, right? Okay, on to Section 2, Character Tweaks and Upgrades. Just look at this quote from Millie Alcock. She says Kara actually thinks of Superman as a bit of a big dork. And I love this, because it proves she isn't just Superman light. Supergirl is being built with her own distinct worldview. Think about it from her perspective for a second. Kara actually remembers Krypton. She's navigating immense godlike powers in a brutal galaxy, and she's really struggling with Superman's strict no-kill rule. Meanwhile, Earth-Raised Clark is your quintessential brightly colored Boy Scout. Kara is really bumping up against his expectations. They share blood, sure, but they have entirely different ways of looking at the universe. Now here is a massive plot hint and a huge departure from the comics. In the footage, it's super clear that the villain, Krem, actually has superpowers. In the original source material, Krem is definitely dangerous, but he doesn't have inherent super abilities. By giving him powers here, they are significantly upgrading his threat level. He isn't just some guy with a bow or a gun anymore. He's a cosmic level adversary who can physically go toe-to-toe with Supergirl. It totally raises the stakes of their entire galactic conflict. Okay guys, I need to pause the analysis for a very quick, absolutely crucial public service announcement. The trailer shows this heart-stopping moment where Krypto the Superdog appears to get shot by Krem. You see Kara rushing to him, totally devastated. Do not Panic. The source material confirms it, and honestly, just knowing James Gunn, it's a lock. Crypto will survive. Kara's probably just going to leave him with an alien doctor to heal up while she hunts down the antidote. Gunn is way too much of a dog lover to let Crypto meet a grim end on screen, so you can all breathe a massive sigh of relief. Next up, Section 3. Enter the main man, Lobo's integration. Jason Momoa's Lobo is about to inject a massive dose of pure chaos into this universe. Breaking down the visual sequence, his introduction happens in 3 distinct steps. First, there's just an accidental bump during a massive chaotic spacebar brawl. Lobo just happens to be grabbing a drink. Second, instead of walking away, he jumps right into the fight simply because he is highly entertained by the violence. And third, he eventually teams up with Supergirl to take on the Space Brigands. But come on, it's Lobo. This isn't out of the goodness of his heart. There is almost certainly a massive bounty on Krem's head, meaning Lobo's motivation is purely financial and chaotic. The really big question looking at this is about his power set. Are we actually going to see his comic-accurate regeneration? If you know the comics, Lobo can get completely obliterated and regrow his entire body from a single drop of spilled blood. Sometimes it even creates multiple clones of him that he then has to fight. While that would be incredibly cool to see, we gotta remember the rating. Since this isn't an R-rated movie, that horrific, bloody regeneration ability will likely be toned down to fit a PG-13 rating. But make no mistake, expect him to be basically indestructible anyway. Let's jump to Section 4, Franchise Connections and the Road to Man of Tomorrow. Now, this movie definitely does not exist in a vacuum. A huge visual clue linking it to the wider universe is Kara's fluctuating power levels based on her environment. For part of the movie, she's under a red sun, meaning she is completely powerless. But then the trailer shows this pivotal, triumphant moment, a super tight shot of her clenching her fist. That visual cue is everything. It signifies her transition under a yellow sun. You are watching the exact moment her godlike powers return, leading directly into a sequence where she completely unleashes her full might on those space brigands. And notice the stark contrast in their fighting styles here. On the left, when Kara's powers return, she is brutal. She fights like a trained warrior and absolutely does not hold back. Contrast that with Superman on the right, who historically pulls his punches. He usually operates at maybe 70 to 80% of his true power just to avoid collateral damage. But looking ahead to Man of Tomorrow, facing a Warframe-equipped Lex Luthor and the terrifying power of Brainiac, Superman might finally be forced to adopt Kara's mindset and go completely all out. To really understand how all this connects, let's map out the exact canonical timeline James Gunn is building here. Kara's pod arrival on Earth happens years ago, shortly before Superman officially outs himself to the world. Superman's public career, that's been going on for about 3 years. Supergirl's epic space adventure against the Brigands takes place right now, in the present day. And here is the kicker. The end of Supergirl's space journey leads minute by minute directly into the events of Man of Tomorrow. It is an immediate, seamless follow-up. Which perfectly sets up this massive confirmation. She will be in the movie. Yep, James Gunn officially confirmed that Supergirl is already filming for Man of Tomorrow. Guys, this isn't just a post-credit tease. This is setting up an epic, immediate crossover event. The very second Kara touches back down on Earth after her space adventure, she's going to be thrown right into the massive conflict against Lex and whatever master plan Brainiac is cooking up. So we've broken down the hidden clues, the new suits, the brutal fighting styles, and the exact timeline. But now I want to turn this over to you. Looking at this incredible roster, from Jason Momoa's Lobo to the super-powered Krem, or even Crypto the Superdog, which characters from today's explainer do you think are making the jump to the next massive DC blockbuster? Let that sink in, because this universe is more connected right now than it has ever been. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this deep dive, and stay focused out there.